property is looking. Exterior paint is 99% done. Demo of the kitchen is done. Demo of the bathroom is in progress and almost done.
So what happened is we knew we were, like I said to you, the house that we've just bought was a surprise purchase. We thought we were going to do like you do in California, where you have like 20 different exercises where you put in an offer on a house, but we happened to buy the first house that we ever put an offer in. And so there was sort of like, well, maybe we better contact a realtor to sell our house because it looks like we've just bought a house. And I had a binder of realtor cards just for this very day. And of course, we could not find that binder.
Tell us a little bit about how you chose me or my team over other agents. I know you had mentioned that you had a process or something that I sent that stuck out. So
I happened to be opening mail and there was a postcard from you. And I'm very into serendipity. I'm very into everything happens for a reason. I'm like that. Dennis is exactly the opposite. He's very into data. So I read your postcard and it's got a good vibe. I don't remember what it said. I just remember reading it and getting a very good vibe from your postcard and thinking, I like what this woman is saying. You know, like this is speaking to me. Anyway, unbeknown to me, he was doing all sorts of research about you. He went and looked at your YouTube website. And later that very day, came to me and said, I actually kind of like this realtor as well. Like, I really like how that she presents the data. She produces spreadsheets. She really keeps track of what's going on in the market. Listen, if you want to speak to a data person like Dennis, like the fact that you did that really like meant something to you, because I don't know any other realtor that I've ever dealt with that does. So I was also impressed when you told me that. I was like, yeah, that's really good. Like, this is somebody who's really got the pulse on what is going on, not only in San Jose, but like in our particular neighborhood, with people who are trying to figure out, like, what are we going to do if we have to move somewhere and we know our house needs work? That seemed like absolutely miraculous and perfect sort of universal intervention. Here's a realtor who's willing to handle the stuff that we know needs to be handled, and we don't know how we're going to do it. Like, is one of us going to stay behind to do it? So I don't know if you remember when we were like talking to you, because you had these different packages that you offered, and your deluxe package was that you would assist with like the home prep and stuff like that. And I was I don't know if you can remember, very sort of adamantly, that was my main focus of like, are you really going to do this for us? And when we discovered that you were, like, that was it. That's why I said to you when you were sitting there, I already knew, because for me, it had all just been such perfect sort of universal cosmic occurrences in a perfect order of exactly what we needed. You were absolutely fulfilling exactly what we needed, just instantly.
Perfect. Thank you. So how do you feel the home prep process was handled from your perspective? Or let's clarify for people who might be watching, you basically decided, oh my goodness, we need to move. You moved, you handed me the keys, and you were remote the entire time the home prep process went on, right?
That's right.
So how do you feel it was handled? How was it communicated to you? How do we update you?
Obviously, I don't know if this is obvious. I'm South African. That means I've got trust issues. I don't know if Dennis does. I know I do. I still do, and I'm probably going to die with it, because, I mean, if that's your culture, that is what it is. So that the fact that I was willing to do that should show you and anybody else that you had conveyed such capability to me of being able to handle that, whether I was around you or not. Look, we had a huge thing to do. We had to drive across the country. We were moving our pets. We were moving our furniture. We had to wait for furniture. We were moving into a house that we had never personally even walked through. Like I said to you in an email the other day, like, we've had to discover how to use stuff. Our sellers did not clean this house. We moved in to a really dirty house. I'm talking in terms of ovens still being caked with grease. I don't know if other people are going to have this exact situation, but I'm telling you, anybody who's moving cross country, to have the confidence that you would handle it just as well as I was going to, me who's got trust issues. That's how I felt about the home prep process. I felt like so relieved that somebody that I could trust was handling that for me, while we were having to handle another home prep process in the house that we had just moved into. Not quite. I mean, we didn't do painting and stuff like that. And then, you kept so much in contact with us. I felt all the time as if you were always giving us like What do you think of these paint colors? This is what we're doing here. This is what we're doing there.
So what did you think of the finished product after all the results, what you left behind and what we ended up putting on the market? How did you feel?
Well, as you know, I wept because I was very upset that I never got to live in such a beautiful house, even though it was my house and I'd lived in it for 9 years. I felt very offended that somebody else, even though they were going to pay us for it, was going to get the pleasure of the beauty that had been created in my own, and that we'd never sort of gotten to doing it. How do I feel about it? I feel like you did exactly what we asked you to do, and more. I never felt like you were ever going to like exceed budget. There was none of that. You were absolutely in tune with the budget that we set and discussed. So that's a trust thing too.
The next question is, would you recommend it? But it sounds like from what you've said,
Absolutely.
yes, you would recommend it. Yeah.
It is fantastic to have somebody that you can rely on who's going to do a good job to sort of tie up the things that you need tied up, which is going to, for most people, that's going to be their house.
Yeah.
In California. Absolutely, I would recommend this. I would even recommend this to people who are not leaving California.
So what about, now you mentioned when you saw the website and stuff, you were overjoyed, wept, but how do you feel separate from the home prep? How do you feel the listing and showing and offer process went?
I feel very relieved that you handled all of that. And it went very fast. The most glaring thing to me was that you created a frenzy, and that's your job. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And you didn't have to live through it, right? It was
no, you created a feeding frenzy, and then you had to deal with the alligators. I'm glad I wasn't there, but I was very impressed at how many of them you attracted.
Yeah. Awesome. And do you recall how many offers we had?
I think we had 18.
Yes, 18 offers. Yeah, pretty awesome.
I feel like the 2 months that we put into you doing the prep, the returns on that are phenomenal. And one of those returns is 18 offers on a house.
Yes. Yes. And really the dollar you put in, you got way more.
10 times back. Just under 10 times back.
That is
Think about
amazing.
So 10 times the money that we invested in that prep. And it only took 2 months. And we didn't want to sell the house in those 2 months anyway, because you showed with your data that the market had dropped a little bit in those 2 months anyway. So it worked out brilliantly. And let's just add the fact that I could see, because you shared your calendar with us, I could see exactly what was happening when. That's fantastic. That's a really, really good part of the way you handled the home process thing. And you come off as a very trustworthy person, even to a South African, an old, cynical, jaded bastard like me. And that is a great thing.
Awesome. Thank you so much.